Let's move over to the SEC. Let's go to Atlanta, where Georgia and Texas are rematching from just a month ago, where Georgia absolutely put a beatdown on that Texas offense. And the reason why I say Texas's offense is because Texas's defense in that game played awesome. They gave up 30 points, but I mean, it was short field after short field after short field from Texas just turning the football over. So when I'm looking at this game, I think a lot of people right away will look at this matchup and be like, oh my gosh, Georgia, I mean, killed them last game. Yes, they did. Offensively, though, Carson Beck did not look good in this game. He was seeing ghosts, just like Quinn Ewers was. All right, they ended up putting in Arch Manning, and that didn't work out either. But I do think that there is a new level to this Texas run game that I think we didn't see necessarily a month ago. I think Texas has proved their physicality. I think at this point, Texas has been battle tested in a couple games this year now. Unlike maybe the first time that they played against Georgia, and I think this might be crazy, but I think Texas is going to walk into the SEC and win the SEC in their first season over here in the Southeastern Conference. I think that this 2.5 point spread is a very good line, but I also think Texas is going to win and cover here. So I'm on that boat. I don't think Quinn Ewers even has to play his best football to win this game. I think it's more about it's going to be down more to Carson Beck. What can he do? Is he going to be bad again? Because I don't think the Texas offense is going to be held to 15 points again, or 3 turnovers or 4 turnovers, whatever it was, right? I think also, what was it, like 6 or 7 sacks? I think that Texas is going to be more prepared for what Georgia's going to be bringing on the defensive side of the football for that pass rush. I mean, we've seen Texas hold up against other good pass rushers this season. It just the Georgia game is looking more like an outlier than you know the norm against good pass rushes, right? So I I think Texas gets Georgia in this game and wins the SEC.
Yeah, I'm with you there. As crazy as it sounds, but like the reality is, if you watch these teams like throughout the year, like yes, you saw Georgia walk into Austin and kind of stomp on them defensively, especially like you said. It'll be interesting because I do think that Kelvin Bates injury, while the backup came in, I'm forgetting his name right now, he came in and played really, really well in a big time spot, a big time environment. So I do trust him for that. But Kelvin Banks is like one of one, right, in college football. And he also struggled against Mikael Whitley, or not against Mikael Williams, against Walker, the other guy, and it would be um, definitely something to consider if he's not playing, because you did see how when Quinn Ewers does get pressured, bad things do happen. And when A&M got pressure on him, I didn't love the outcome for Texas last week either. You saw the fumble, you saw the interception, different things that happened. When he potentially did get some pressure or some bodies around him. It'll be interesting. I said this again. I said this in the A&M game, more so talking about Wigman, and Arch Manning. But in this game here, we saw those different packages for Arch Manning. You think Texas is going to win? You probably think Quinn Ewers is the starter all throughout, right? You don't see a yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think there's any reason.
I think so. And I know Quinn Ewers' ankle is looking not great right now, but again, his mobility is not what gives him his power, right? He's consistently been a guy, even when he is healthy and quote unquote mobile, he has consistently gone down to pressure, right? He just doesn't do well against pressure. So this all Texas offensive line is going to need to put in work, but I think they can, dude. I think they can. Like you said, that left tackle spot, obviously concerning, but I'm all over Texas in this spot. And I think this is a really good I think this is a really good rematch spot for them. I know it looked really bad last time, but Georgia's touchdowns, what they weren't they all inside like the 20-yard line? Didn't they get the ball in the red zone those 2 times that they scored?
Yeah,
Three
their
times,
scoring drives. I know we're not. I can double check the exact stats there, but their scoring drives
but
were not very big. Yeah, 13 yards, 34 yards, and then there was one 89-yard response. That was huge after Texas cut it to 8, right after
mm,
the interception. I think the interception was kind of taken back. Whatever happened there, but um, yeah, Georgia responded and had a really nice drive. But that was their only drive where they got things going. Where they strung together multiple first downs. But yeah, it'll be interesting.
And Georgia loves starting slow, and I don't think they can afford it in this spot. Not in this game. And yeah, sure, it's in Atlanta. Be like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be a home game for Georgia. And there will be Texas fans there,
Yeah.
and there will be a lot of them. So I'm not. This isn't a home field advantage situation for Georgia. Like there will be a lot of Texas fans there, so I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah, real quick here, in terms of, I talked about this a couple other videos or a couple other teams. Opponent adjusted defensive efficiency, Texas is number one in the country. What that basically means is against an average opponent. So take strength of schedule out of it. Think everything like they are the top most efficient defense in the country. That is crazy. Let's think about that for a second. This Texas team with Steve Sarkisian, Mr. Offensive Guru himself, is the top defensive efficient team in the country. That is incredible. Going against a quarterback who has struggled. When has he put it together for 4 quarters? We have not seen that. I think he's going to have to. I don't think you're going to get bailed out by whatever happened in Austin a couple months ago to happen again here. I think Texas is going to come ready to play. What I saw last week from them was a national championship caliber team. I have not seen that from
Mm.
Georgia in a long time. Yes, they took care of business against Tennessee at home. I think this is a much different beast, a much different beast for Georgia to go up against.
Is that the Johnny Nansen effect kind of being inserted? I know that Pete Kwiatkowski has done a great job calling plays, and that the players love him and they believe in his play calling ability. But you gotta believe, I mean, just everywhere Johnny Nansen goes, he just it improves whatever defense is there. And I know Johnny Nansen's not the one calling plays,
I mean,
but I mean, right?
he's very impressed with him. Obviously, Jeff Choate was a very good D coordinator as well. And I think last year, I think that the surprising part is I think they had the stars last year. Obviously, everyone knew Sweat and Murphy up the middle there, Ford as well, veteran linebacker for him. So it is interesting to see. And even battling through some injuries in the secondary and whatnot, it's been awesome. I mean, what they have done, getting 11 guys to do the right thing on just about every damn play. They suffocated A&M. They absolutely suffocated. That's a good running back. That's a good running team. And if Georgia can't run the football, good luck to Carson Beck. And now it'll be interesting to see him use his legs. We saw him do that more and more throughout the season as it got going and kind of rely upon that when they needed it. I know he doesn't love to do that, but in a game like this, maybe you do see him, and that could be the difference. If you are not putting together the ball on the ground, if you are struggling to get open, right, like in different games, certain third down spots, it could be really interesting to see Carson Beck take that with his legs. But yeah, I'm with you here. I think the right play is to be on Texas here, which is crazy. This is how power Vikings work. This is how, like, we saw Texas and Georgia play each other in Austin a couple months ago, and Georgia won by 15 points, and now Texas is sitting here 2.5 point favorites at a neutral site. Yeah, it's wild.